Hi, my name's Ed Sipler, and I work for the Southeastern Health and Social Care Trust in our Health Development Department. On the 2nd of December, we're moving into National Grief Awareness Week. That's going to run to the 8th of December. Now, when I stood back and I looked at what this campaign's trying to achieve, I was impressed. They're trying to raise the awareness of grief on a national scale. And there's no question, these last couple of years has been difficult. A lot of people have gone through some really painful experiences. So how do we offer access to support to those grieving and to those working with the bereaved? And how do we create a better understanding of grief and open up that conversation? And I was asked, well, do you have anything around self-care? Well, I do, but I thought, okay, I might have to tailor it because general self-care and bereavement might be slightly different. Now, self-care at this time of year may be all that more challenging because that's a little bit harder with the losses people have experienced. Now, when I think about over this last couple of years, I've lost people very close to me. Was it hard? Absolutely. The most painful human experience somebody can have. So we could talk about self-care, but what I'm not going to do is say, you should do this, you should do that. What I am keen to do is share, well, what's helped me through this time. I really do believe this. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. So if I step back to think about self-care, it's not what we do, it's not a one-size-fits-all. People are different. The most significant thing about all our well-being is our sense of agency. Now, what does that mean? Agency means we actively choose what's going to support our well-being. What are we going to do? And the key to agency has three parts. One is that belief, yeah, I can do that. The second is optimism and hope. That's going to help me. And the third, imagination. You can apply it in different areas of your life. So the key to well-being is people actively choose what's going to help me. Now, when I did look and get ready for this clip, I went on the Marie Curie's website and found some really good advice. So if you are hurting, if you've had a loss recently and it's painful, their website does have advice that you may find helpful. Now, I'm not going to read all those things, and the website does go into a lot more detail. But what really stood out for me, yes, they're all important, but if you need bereavement support, get it. And there's help out there. And I'll finish with where locally in Northern Ireland, we can get that help. So, but when do people tend to ask for help? Like I said, I've done a lot of work over this last couple of years supporting people's well-being. And when I ask this question, when do you tend to reach out for support around your well-being? Do you do it when it's mild and things are okay in a preventative sense, or do you wait till it's moderate and okay, it's starting to build, or do you wait till it's severe and it's not support you need, it's help? I get a 50-50 split. Rarely do people say, I do it and when it's mild and in a preventative way. No, it's 50-50 between moderate and severe. We don't reach out to support till it's a crisis. Maybe we need to look for support much earlier. So what I did in partnership with a CERT, we made 3 YouTube clips. Now, the 3 YouTube clips, one's on how stress and trauma affects our nervous system. The second are ideas for healing and self-care. The third is dealing with worry. And it's our hope that they give people ideas on what's going to help them. Now, all 3 have written material that the viewer can download from the YouTube site or a CERT's website. Now, they're easy enough found. All you have to do is either go to a CERT's website, and there they are, or type my name, Ed Sipler, into YouTube, and you'll find them. But it's our hope they might give you ideas to look after your well-being. Now, in particular, the booklet on self-care, well, that has ideas that personally I found very helpful. Now, the 4 key skills, we talk about relaxed breathing, because when we do get stressed, our breathing becomes more shallow and rapid. If we breathe deeper and breathe out more than we breathe in, and do that regularly, that could bring on a calming effect. Now, we talk about that. We talk about self-compassion, how we talk to ourselves. I'm going to have to go in a little bit more detail about that. And then we talk about using positive emotions to deal with stress. Let's look at this. Where self-care can fall short, where it can fall down, no amount of self-care rituals are going to work if we're self-criticizing ourselves right through it before or after. Beating ourselves up is counterproductive. So self-compassion means we deal with how we talk to ourselves. And how many times are we self-critical? And we compare ourselves to other people and we don't quite measure up. Now, self-compassion can really help that. It's an evidence-based way of working. Its leader in the world, Christian Neff, has done a lot of research in terms of how self-compassion builds people's well-being, mental health, physical health. Now, self-compassion has three parts. One, it is how you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself like a good friend with kindness and compassion. Would any of us talk to ourselves or our friends the way we tend to talk to ourselves? No. The second part of self-compassion, you recognize every single person has their shortcomings, makes mistakes, makes bad decisions. You make a mistake, it doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you human. And the third part of self-compassion, you recognize your emotions, use mindfulness to bring yourself and ground yourself in the present, not racing ahead to the future or stuck in the past, into the present, non-judgmentally. It could take a bit of work to become more self-compassionate, to actually use it. And we do find that work takes a bit of effort. So we put some exercises in that book that can help people begin to have a look at self-compassion. And if you're interested, there's a lot more on YouTube, and Christian Neff has a website around self-compassion. Google it, and it's got a wealth of resources on it if that's something you'd like to look more into. So the second thing that really helped me was the use of positive emotions. Now, I came across some research years ago that these researchers were working with carers who were looking after somebody who was dying. You don't get anything more stressful than that. And they found that if they could get the carers to express positive emotion, well, their anxiety went down and their mood stayed up. Their situation did not change. Now, those 8 ways to express positive emotion. Notice positive things. Use your senses. What puts a smile on your face? Really notice those things and go out of your way to create them. And then express them, because then the power of those positive things goes up. Gratitude. People who keep gratitude lists have better well-being, better physical health. So that's a powerful well-being exercise. And mindfulness, using mindfulness to bring yourself and ground yourself to the present, not worrying about the past or the future, using mindfulness on a regular basis. Positive rethinking, getting a balance to your thinking so you're not drawn into that negative bias that people do tend to have when they're stressed. Focus on your strengths, which in Northern Ireland we're not particularly good at, and attainable goals. Don't we all feel good when we go tick, 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 we get things done? And acts of kindness, you got to wait for somebody. Chances are you'll get a smile back, but it's also you will get a good feeling. Now, what I didn't know was what was behind this. And what it is, it's called the broad and build theory by Barbara Fredrickson. When people experience positive emotion, in your brain, we produce a bit of dopamine. When you go out of your way to do that regularly, consistently, purposely, yeah, your dopamine will improve, your dopamine pathways in the brain, dopamine receptors, and that creates what they call a wider cognitive flexibility. You see a broader angle rather than dwelling on the negative. It's highly recommended for people with a lot of stress in their lives. I think it's useful for all of us. Now, what we're talking about in this clip, people do tend to wait for a crisis till they ask for support. And agency is the most significant source of our well-being. You choose what's going to work for you. Now, self-care with a critical voice is counterproductive, and using positive emotion can really help build our well-being, as can self-compassion. But you choose what's going to work for you. And most important, ask for help if you feel you need it. Now, this time of year, people are getting ready for Christmas. We're getting through winter. We are going through some really challenging times financially and with winter pressures. So if you know somebody who's struggling or somebody who's grieving with the loss of someone, maybe one of the most important things we could do is reach out, whether it's a card, a phone call, a text, visit them. But what's really important is you don't have to fix things. Just be there. Let them know you're thinking of them. That's maybe one of the most powerful things we could do. So whatever you choose to do, like I said, there's not one size fits all, whether it's emotional support you need or practical support, social support that helps you feel connected, financial, because we're into some really tough times now. And let's not forget spiritual help. A lot of people get through these very challenging times through their spiritual beliefs. Whatever works for you, but agency means you choose what's going to work for you with optimism, hope, and confidence. So it's my hope you got something from watching this, but you decide what's going to work for you, what's going to promote your hope, your agency. Now, we do have a few phone numbers and websites, probably not them all, but key ones we believe might be helpful. There's Minding Your Head website from the Public Health Agency, we believe has a wealth of information around mental health and well-being. Lifeline, if you're in crisis, there's a phone number you can pick up, you can use to get somebody on the other end of the phone that can listen non-judgmentally and help you through that crisis. The Samaritans, support a lot of people across Northern Ireland. And for people who have been bereaved, there's bereavement support, and CRUISE is one of our key organizations here in Northern Ireland to support people with loss. If you work for the health service, all of us can make use of Inspire's confidential employee assistant, and you may want to pause this clip and you can look at those phone numbers. And a really good website to look at is the Community Wellbeing website. They have a wealth of self-help and information right across Northern Ireland. That's 15 of our mental health charities that have banded together to put that information out there. And the clubs I talked about that I did, well, they're on that too. So it's my hope you're going to get something from this. But thanks for taking the time to look at it. I really do hope you found it helpful. If you want to share it, please do, or the clips. But I really want to wish you well. And if you can reach out for support or somebody who needs that support, I wish you well with that. Thanks very much.